Hey, what's going on? Welcome to this edition of Champagne Dreams. I'm your boy Dwayne, and this is
I'm Stephanie. You guys should know us by now.
at this point. I mean, you should really already be in. You see these faces, you know what time it is, right? So we're back, and I think we're going to start first with like a spicy topic because Instagram and Facebook has
I
been.
know. I kind of seem like it's back. I mean, obviously things are still going on in the world, and we definitely are a part of that and acknowledging that. But this week was a little interesting within the celebrity world. B.Simone, if you don't know who she is, she's Instagram. She's a comedian. She's on Nick Cannon's Wild and Out, and she got called out this week. So if you don't know the story, she sold a book. It was like $30. People were upset, first of all, because when they got the book, it wasn't a book. It was like a workbook. Like, I mean, if I paid $30 for a book, it better be like a book, like small
Oh,
words.
hold on, pause. It was a workbook, like
It was like a workbook.
I'm
I mean,
going
it
to
had some
school
written
doing
pages
class.
with like big font in it, but it was like a workbook. Like Michelle Obama's book wasn't even $30, I don't think. So that was the first thing, right? And so the big thing is like she made $1 million off of this book.
Right?
But and so she was bragging about it on Instagram. Maybe I wouldn't say bragging. She was celebrating about it on Instagram, hyping. Oh, I made my million, and then she went on Nick Cannon's. He has a radio show and was like, I can't have a guy that has a 9 to 5. I need an entrepreneur. No shade to y'all 9 to 5 people, but that just ain't my thing. Fine, okay, cool. But I feel like when she made that first million, sis started feeling herself. That humbleness kind of went out the window. Roll back around this week, some bloggers and some motivational speakers called her out for plagiarizing the book. And so her book had like copies, like word for word, of somebody else's workbook from like years ago. And so now they're in a legal battle. Like she had to stop selling her book. And I was like, you start getting hype and feeling yourself, and God was like, like,
I think that
hold
was
up,
one of our
sis.
words, right? Humility was one of our words for the week. Like, I mean, nothing wrong with being a little humble, but hold up, I'm just like, let's rewind real quick. Hold up. So she had a team, and you mean to
Yeah,
tell me
so
the
she
whole
had a team.
team
That's another thing.
didn't?
So she had a team writing the book, but she was like posting about how she was up till 3 a.m. writing this book and doing all this stuff. But then she said her team is the one who took it over and did the plagiarizing, but she's taking responsibility as the leader because she should have looked over stuff. But I'm like, so did you write the book or not? Usually most people who are writing a book, it's you have a writer.
Yeah.
If you're not a professional writer, you have a writer who does that for you. But don't hype people like they're getting like a
A
50,000
manuscript,
word
like
book, and you get a flimsy workbook.
she's out here like Ayana fix my life. Like she's not
Right,
writing a transcript on how to fix your life. She's
right.
essentially, from what it sounds like, plagiarizing from other great writers on how to fix your life. But I'm just a little like, I'm low key a little like, I don't know. So I love B Simone. I'm like, I love her for the comedian or comedic aspect. I never really seen her as someone, and maybe this is just from a guy's perspective, as someone that I will look to and like aspire to. But let's rewind that statement back about 9 to 5s, right? Because I
Pretty
mean,
much, I feel like the people who are buying her book are people with 9 to 5s.
I'm like, and this is Champagne Dreams, right? So our whole premise of this show is that we know we're still
You
working
gotta
towards
grow.
fulfilling our dreams fully, but we still understand the power and being able to support yourself in the midst of chasing your dreams. Any great entrepreneur will tell you there are going to be times where that money flow,
Ain't
baby,
it?
that money flow
It
ain't like as a
got it.
when I was back up dancing and doing that money, let's be clear, like there are moments where you don't book a gig. There are moments where as an artist, you don't sell work. And I felt both of those. And, you're living from contract to contract, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, like having someone who you're partner with who can support you in the midst of that, like, I don't know, like,
I mean, like I understood, like I get it. Every people have preferences, that fine. But
yeah,
her explanation was like, I need me an entrepreneur because if I'm up at 3 a.m. working and you got to wake up and go to work in the morning, you won't understand. But I'm like, entrepreneur is a mindset. It's not necessarily a job title. So you can understand where somebody's
fact,
coming from and still wake up and go to your 9 to 5. I'm like, y'all realize there's a lot of people who have 9 to 5s that make way more money than entrepreneur. So I think I understood what she was trying to say, but how it came off just sounded real cocky and real like, okay, sis, you just made your first million off your workbook that you plagiarized, and now all of a sudden you can't have somebody with a 9 to 5. Got it. Okay.
She might want to just take it from us who have
like the humble pie man.
She might want to take it to us for those who have dated, and in your case, married entrepreneurs. Like having someone get you someone who can do both. Like, and that's like I'm just saying, right? Speaking from personal experience, get you somebody who can do both, and it's not easy. And yes, it does sort of maybe hinder the love life to some degree, but trust me, you both understand because you're doing it for the bigger dream.
All right. So speaking of doing both, I don't know if this is a good segue, but J.Cole, he just dropped a new song this week, and people are mad. Specifically, Black women are mad. Let's talk about it, Darryl.
So J.Cole is like, I love J.Cole, yo. Like that's so when it comes like I love like him and his whole little like entourage of rappers that roll in his unit, like JID, Jid, Dante, like all of them, like I like because they're very thoughtful, right, in their writing and in their lyrical content. They're not just out here putting out like they're not being reckless. So when I hear when I hear that my sisters, that my queens, that my females of color are a little upset with my boy, it's a little difficult, right? Because I heard the new song, and I think that it's two perspectives. Like I get why.
What's your perspective?
Was my we just gonna go for it, huh?
Yeah.
What's your perspective? Let's just cut through. Okay, so as a man, right? I love the song because I think what he's allowing, which is something that is a very rare space for us guys, opening up and allowing you all to see the psyche of how we really work, right? How we're really digesting the things that are happening around us and being vulnerable. Like, and I'm sure the sisters that are listening to this right now, he ain't being vulnerable. Let's be clear. He's being extra vulnerable in his song because you start off with the idea that he's getting props, right, from a lover of his music who is basically shouting him a holler, giving him props because of his education and him being able to articulate community things that affect directly the community of color and being able to speak to those things. But he, in that same song, highlights his insecurities, right? We get to the middle of the song where he's speaking specifically to, a female, and this female counter in this song, he leads before he even gets to what most of the young ladies are mad about. He highlights and says, "Look, she's smarter than me." Like he doesn't like hold it. He goes right off and starts off, "She's smarter than me." She, and it makes him more self-aware and how he even critical when it comes to critical judgment. How he had to like even step back and like, look, I gotta listen, right? And then he goes into this. But on the flip side of that, he talks about the tone and the delivery. And I think that there's a lot to be said in the tone and delivery, and we can get to that in a second. But then we'll get to the end of the song. I just want to get to so then you get to the third layer, because I already see she ready. The third layer of the song, he goes and then closes out with the thought process of, even though he sort of like called her to the rug on, her shortcomings, right? As well as exposing his shortcomings, he then goes back to readdressing why this is a thing in the first place and says, look, ultimately I look and I reflect, and after, looking at all the zeros in the back of his, from the money he's made, he's looking and seeing himself in his true reflection and maybe thinking deep down inside he isn't doing enough. He's recognizing that, look, she right. Like after all of her words done rained on him, he's like, I mean, truth be told, I'm looking inside and I'm like, yeah, that's probably why I don't feel like I'm worthy of this guy giving me props, because ultimately I know deep down I could be doing more. So I feel like it's like a layered drink. I mean, champagne drink. It's like a layered like cocktail. And I feel like sometimes we're so quick to like, we hear things that directly speak to us and we want to take offense, but
there are trigger words. I think
I'm just because I already see she ready. She
I
won.
mean, so look, okay. So I like J.Cole.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember meeting him and interviewing him like when he first
Mhm.
came out. Super nice guy, like very intelligent.
Yes.
And I don't feel any type of way about the song. Like I get both perspectives, but I get why we Black women are mad. I think one of the first things when he says like the tone, and it's so funny because I had this conversation with a friend last night, and I think he used the word tone, which is okay, fine, we get it. But then it's like he implied and pretty much said like, "Hey, your tone is like attacking me." But it's like, how come everything about a black woman, anytime a black woman speaks up or says something like eloquent or intelligent, it's always got to be like it's an attack. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things where like black women are tired. Like here we are trying to help school people, we're holding down our black men, our black brothers, and this is not to take away anything that black men are going through right now because y'all be going through hell for sure. But black women be carrying everything on their back, and so here we have somebody that's like, "You're attacking me," but it's like, no, I'm just trying to help you. Like I've been telling y'all, we've been telling y'all this for years and years. Now all of a sudden y'all woke and you wake up and you want to act like no, just spoon feed it to me. Like sometimes it's not a spoon fed situation. You just need to be told. And my friend I was talking to last night, he was like, yo, you got to look at it like this. Like it's the difference between preaching and teaching. Like y'all be so busy trying to preach that it comes off as an attack instead of like just teaching. I'm like, but why do we have to water down how we are articulating things to you all for you to get it? Like that's not fair. Like black women are always told like smile more, be softer, be a little nicer, don't be so loud. It's like, come on, let's just say what we need to say and move on. And I think a lot of times what happens is we say things and men aren't emotionally available to hear until
Yeah.
y'all egos get bruised when we are saying what we need to say and saying the truth. And now all of a sudden y'all feel attacked because we're saying the truth and y'all aren't ready to hear it.
I mean, valid, very valid. Like she was like, I felt like there should be a gavel when she was finished, like bow, and like and closed case. Like I'm like, and honestly, I get it. Like, and I like you, I see both sides. And I think that this ultimately begs to the point of this is why this song was made, right? To create and cultivate dialogue, because that's the biggest part of what's missing amongst men and women of color. Like being able to dialogue so we're
Absolutely.
on the same page so that we understand what are we really fighting for, right?
All right, we're gonna get into our word of the week.
Okay.
What you got?
You know what? Since we're on the topic of listening and hearing each other out, let's go with respect. I'm gonna go with. Meanwhile, I got Black Panther on today, so you know, Wakanda forever. Like we gotta respect. I think that's what this storyline and what a lot of progressive movements have been all about is about. We need each other. We can't go forward unless both parties, all races, all genders, all sexual orientations are on the same page and understand like, look, at the end of the day, I'm human. I am going to drop the ball at some point, but still don't allow me dropping the ball in this one moment for you to lose total respect for me, and vice versa. If you slight me, I can't lose respect for who you are. I have to continue to hold in my mind that your intentions may not always in line with how I feel or your actions, and respect you for who you are and where we're at.
Okay. All right.
Which
Of course, you always come through with the word. I'm going to piggyback off of that and choose empathy. I think right now that's something that we all really probably need to practice. Like I there's a lot of things that I can empathize with people with, and I think right now black women, like we're definitely empathizing with our black brothers because we feel what you're going through. Like we can completely internalize that. So I think empathy is something that's really really important right now because while you can have sympathy and like understand like, oh yeah, I can get where you're coming from, like to actually feel it and to really understand it is a whole nother level of like care and concern. So empathy is my word for the week.
And then, I mean, ultimately, how do you mirror respect back? You got to be able to
You gotta
empathize.
empathize, man.
Because I like, again, no, I like how our words
You
always
always just
we be here, like you know
together.
what? Yeah, like, look at God.
Want to do it?
Won't he do it? Right. So thank you all for joining us. I guess this is us signing off. We appreciate you checking with us every week, and we hope that you come back next week.
Bye.